Our next panelist is somebody I know very well. She's a member of the International Planning Committee of the Global Summit of Women. She is Margaretta Noonan from New York, and she is the Executive Vice President and Chief Administrative Officer of the Hudson Group, which is one of the largest executive search firms in the country. So, Margaretta, were you always from New York?
No, well, halfway. I was born in Manhattan, and I'm back there now, but in between I lived in...
I didn't know people were born in Manhattan.
Yeah, well, I'm a native New Yorker. But in between I lived in Maryland and Virginia and North Carolina and Milwaukee, and I'm the only one on the panel without a Southern drawl. So I guess all the moving around, I also don't sound like a New Yorker, except when I talk too fast.
Well, you know, I wanted geographic diversity and diversity of careers. So what did you want to be in the beginning? I mean, was there a career drive within you? Was it instilled in you? What did you want to do?
I wanted to pay my bills. I graduated from Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, and with a degree in philosophy and religious studies, a very practical thing, and had been accepted to UVA into a graduate program. And I graduated off cycle, and so needed to work for a while, and had been working in a retail department store chain, and they called me and said, you want to be the receptionist in our personnel department? And I said, oh no, I can't, I'm going to graduate school in the fall. And they said, if you stay that long, you'll be the longest lasting receptionist we've ever had. So I went upstairs and started answering phones in the personnel department, and a few months later, a fellowship that I had hoped to pay for graduate school fell through. And that same weekend, there was an article in the local paper about UVA PhDs who couldn't get jobs and were taking jobs as receptionists. And I thought, I already have one of those. I don't have student loans. Let me do this. I was really fortunate to be in the company at a time when the HR department was expanding, and so I was quickly able to move into some other roles and stayed there for 14 years until the company closed.
Was there ever a point in your life when you thought you may have wanted to go in another direction, or did you always enjoy this field of personnel recruitment, management?
I really like what I'm doing. I had a chance when the receptionist job was offered to me. Sort of my big career crisis was they offered me that or a job in the collections department, and the collections department job actually paid 25 cents an hour more. So that was pretty attractive, but I thought, I don't want to do that. And so I forged this path early on. Had always wanted to be a college professor, and maybe when I retire I'll be able to go back and teach, because I still think I'd like to do that.
Were your parents a motivating factor? How did they feel about your life's choices?
Both my mother and my grandmother were role models for me. My grandmother went to college and got a college degree at a time when women did not go to college. My mother got a master's degree in chemistry from Johns Hopkins at a time when women didn't get graduate degrees, and certainly not in the sciences. And so it was always shown to me that it doesn't matter that you're a girl. You can do anything. And when it came to paying for school, one of the reasons I was at VCU is I could still live at home and do it. My parents didn't have a lot of money, and made it clear to me that they would help me as best they could, but they couldn't send me off to a fancy school, and so living at home made that much more affordable.
Where do you find the drive? Because I know you. You ain't quiet. My job is really interesting. We have about 3,600 employees around the world, and so I get to work with people like Stephanie, people in all kinds of different cultures and environments. I've got a team of people around the world who work with me, and they're all so wonderful. It's generally people earlier in their HR careers who are sort of where I was 5, 10, 15 years ago, and I just find them to be really motivating to me. They require me to be the best that I can be.
I have to tell you all that Margaretta is one of the most positive people I have ever met. So when I'm feeling down, I call Margaretta. When I want advice and recommend, I call Margaretta. And she gives it, and gives it willingly. So thank you for sharing your little portrait of your life. So please.
Thank you.